All right, hi Chase and Elijah. We're going to get started on dividing radicals today. So if you guys could just do the do now quickly, we'll take a few minutes to go over some skills that you're going to need to divide radicals. Once you have your answers, you can put them on the board. Elijah, why don't you do the one on the left, 1, 2, and 3 on the left over here that I will circle in. We'll circle that one in blue. Elijah, you can do this one. And Chase, you can do the one that I circle in red. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so let's switch that up. Elijah, you do the one in red, and Chase, you can do the one in blue. Once you have your answers, you can just write them right on the whiteboard. I'll give you access to that. Good job, Elijah. One looks good. Good, Chase. Elijah, is there any way you can change that to a reduced fraction? Very nice job. Thank you, Chase. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick. Both of you did a great job for numbers 1 and 2. You reduced those fractions correctly. What is the difference between number 1 that Elijah did and number 1 that Chase did? Can anyone type in the chat box what the difference is between those two? Okay, so you're multiplying 5 in the square root of 3 for number 3. You're correct. So for that one, you would end up with 5 square root of 3. Why would you not end up with the square root of 15? Okay, very good, Chase. So looking at here, first of all, Elijah, you had mentioned something about number 3 where you said that 5 times the square root of 3, you can't actually multiply them together because, like Chase said, you're multiplying things inside the square root and things on the outside of the square root. So you can't multiply something that's on the outside with something on the inside. We kind of skipped around there. Chase, you had mentioned that at the top here, the number 1, when we compare those, the reason that the answers are different is because 1 was improper, and you're absolutely correct. So if you have an improper fraction, or a number that's bigger on top of your fraction, you end up with a whole number here. But when the bigger number's in the denominator, like we see in Chase's problem, then it turns out to be a fraction. Excellent job. And then same thing goes with these two down here. Okay, so let's get started on the lesson. Excellent job with that. Okay, so you are going to be able to divide radical expressions by the end of this lesson. So you can see here that I have a nice little meme for you. Hopefully that's not the face you're making by the end of this lesson. Okay, so we are going to look at an example of how to simplify this radical. So the first thing that you need to do, just like multiplication, is separate this into 2 individual problems almost. And we are going to take a look at the numbers on the outside of your radical. So we have 2 over 8. So 2 over 8, when you reduce that, becomes 1 over 4. Okay? Can someone in the chat box or even on the whiteboard screen show me what operation I did? What number did I divide 2 and 8 by to get 1 over 4? So you can either write it on the whiteboard or in the chat box. What did I divide 2 and 8 by? Very good, Elijah. 2, I see you typed down there. Very good, Chase. Okay, next thing I need to take a look at are these square roots. So whenever you have something inside square roots and it's written as a fraction, you're still dividing those. So square root of 12 divided by the square root of 6 turns out to be the square root of 2. And you can see here that when you have the square root of 2, you cannot break that down any further. 2 is a prime number, so your final answer is 1 root 2 over 4. Or, as we know, we can take away that coefficient of a 1 and just write it as a 2 over 4 as your final answer. So I'm going to insert a problem for you to be trying on your own. Let's see if I can do this for you. Okay, so there's your problem for you to be trying on your own. When you guys get your answer, you can just write your answer right on the whiteboard screen for me. Okay, so we have two different answers here. We have Elijah, you have the 8 root 5 over 5 root 1, and Chase, you have 8 root 5 over 5 root 3. So you both agree on the 8 over 5, that 16 over 10 reduces to 8 over 5. And then when you divide 15 divided by 3, what is 15 divided by 3? Okay, 5. So if you end up with a 5, that's what stays inside your square root. So you both have that on top, which is excellent. The only problem I see is over here, Chase, you have the square root of 3 underneath your square root. And I'm going to blame that on my handwriting. Did you think that that was a root 5 over root 3? You can type that in the chat box, yes or no. Did you think that square root of 15 was just the square root of 5? Okay, I apologize for that. Okay, so moving on from here, excellent job with that. So your final answer should have been 8 root 5 over 5. And this square root of 1, if you take the square root of 1 in your chat box, can you guys answer what is the square root of 1? 1, very good, Chase. So if you have the square root of 1 is 1, and you multiply 1 times 5, that just keeps this denominator as being a 5. So you actually do not need this square root of 1 right here. It's not necessary. Excellent job with that. Okay, so we actually do not have any more time left for this lesson. We'll continue this next time we meet. So what I want you to do for your exit slip right now, does everyone see where there I have my cursor over the stamp on the right-hand side of your screen? I want you to rate yourself. If you are very confident with dividing a radical, I want you to put 5 stars on the screen and then write your name next to it. If you are not very confident or you could use some extra help, put 1 star, put your name next to it. If you're in the middle anywhere, then put that number of stars. Make sure you write your name next to it so I know who is who. All right, it looks like Chase, you feel very confident in this, and Elijah, it looks like you are good with dividing radicals, but you could use a little lesson in counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, very good. So one last thing that I want to do, even though it seems like you guys are doing okay with this, is I'm going to enter a link in the chat box for you guys to refer to if you have any extra questions or you need some extra help. And don't forget, you can save this document in case you want to refer back to it later or if you have any trouble with any of the homework. All right, great job today, guys. You're welcome, Chase. Have a good day.